I don't know who Maria is when she steps into the room with Joey, but she's putting on a damn good performance.
Well. So the drama had to continue this episode. It just couldn't die. It just couldn't die with Sydney leaving the house. It had to continue. And guys, the way I want to cover this episode today is going to be a little bit different than I've done the last couple of episodes where I've kind of just gone through each scene with this episode, because I felt like, not that it was boring, because I mean, obviously drama really keeps everything very exciting, but I felt like this one I could really just do where I kind of just talked about the drama and then the one-on-ones, because everything else kind of was just like kind of pointless for me. Like the group dates to me are getting to the point where I feel like they're pointless because I already know who like the top people are, where now after I think today's episode is when it's going to get very difficult for Joey, and I have things to say about Joey. But with this recap, I kind of want to start off with just talking about the thread of this Lea and Jess continuation of the drama with Maria, which, like I had mentioned in the beginning here, I thought had died. We all thought, okay, it was going to end with Sydney, but it didn't. At the end of last episode, obviously, we saw Lea really start to become kind of like the new, like, the head of this like mean girl tribe situation, and I did not like it. Lea was someone I really liked in that first episode. I thought she showed grace. She showed a wonderful moment when she ripped up that card and was like, I don't want to take away the moment from women and all this stuff. I thought it was great. And then now that's not my favorite. I don't know what has happened to her, but she has just turned into this like villain in a way, and this mean girl. And in that last episode, we saw her kind of go at Medina for not being sad, and that Sydney left and not treating her like a good friend because she was talking to Maria and acting kind of like really rude, really, in the end of it, just being like, well, how could you talk to Maria, basically, like, why isn't everyone in the house like crying and sad and not having a good time because Sydney, our friend, has gone home, this girl who you've known for maybe 3 seconds. So I thought it was kind of ridiculous. But at the end of the last episode, we saw how that really affected Maria, that she wasn't really making friends like she thought she was, and how she just feels like she can't do anything right in the house. And I just feel for this girl so much, because I don't understand where this energy is coming from other people not liking her. It's kind of ridiculous. And the end of last episode, it ended with Maria being like, I'm going to go home, right? Like, I can't do this. Can someone else take my rose? So when this episode started up, we kind of started off with the same thing. And then, she obviously eventually she stays Medina, which is super sweet, crazy, because they've squashed their beef, but yet for somehow people are continuing it. Why? I don't know why. I really don't know why. It's ridiculous. It's so stupid. But anyway, she decides to stay, and Leah's upset that she stayed and wished that she would leave. And in the end, Leah is the one who gets the last rose, because obviously we've got to continue the drama for one more episode, right? So the episode continues. They're going to Spain. And throughout this whole episode, I thought it was just so ridiculous that now Leah has this like vendetta against her now, and she's like, anytime she's around her, she's basically acting exactly like Sydney did, where it was like, why is she here? She doesn't deserve to be here. She said she was going to go home. I don't like her. She's horrible. She's putting on a show. Joey doesn't know who she is. Like, all of these crazy accusations that honestly I cannot wait to talk about when we get to the Women Tell All, because we know for a fact that Women Tell All is going to be one to remember. Are people going to double down and be like, no, she's the worst? Or are they going to watch it back and be like, oh, wow, like, I was portrayed really badly, and that's not good. Like, I am so looking forward to that Women Tell All. Tell me in a comment below if you guys are looking forward to that, because my freaking God, I can't wait to talk about it on the channel when we get there. Oh, my freaking God. But yeah, this whole episode, Leia's just like pretty much just hating on her and saying that she can't stand being in the room with her. And I'm like, guys, do you realize how much of your mind is being occupied by another person that doesn't matter? Like, doesn't matter. If you do not like her, it doesn't matter. Why are you focusing on her? Why are you spending so much energy hating on someone? Like, it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. And we have Jess, who also has now decided to join this mean girl troop. And I mean, she was already part of it, but she hadn't gotten to the point where she got this episode, which I thought was absolutely ridiculous. And guys, I just want to talk about it, because that moment, at the end when we're like at the end when we're doing the cocktail party, and Maria at this point already has a rose because she has gotten now another group date rose. She did get a group date rose because she was very vulnerable with Joey and talking about her past and really opening up, which was so nice to see because we don't really see that side of Maria. We found out so much about her and her past and how she was in a car accident as a kid, and she was, really, raised by male figures in her life, and that's why she's so hard on people and very hard on herself and things like that, right? But she gets the group date rose, and obviously everyone's hating because at the end of the day, what this episode showed was that everybody who is not confident in their own relationship with Joey is insecure AF, and those insecurities are being shown the moment that Maria shows that she's moving forward with Joey. Like, these girls cannot take it, specifically Jess. And I want to talk about the moment that Jess interrupts, I believe it's Caitlyn on her, while she's talking. And granted, I really think that a producer probably told her, hey, you should go and talk to Joey. He's free. And then realized that she was there. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. You could tell she was really sorry and didn't really want to interrupt. But Caitlyn was very sweet. She's like, no, it's okay. And then Caitlyn goes back and tells the girls that freaking Maria stole him, and I was like, oh, here we go. This is gonna cause more drama with the women. And Jess is just it's giving disrespect.
It's giving disrespect on all sides. I'm sorry. I am just sitting here thinking, what Maria?
Yo, I about lost my shit. I think I almost fell off my seat because I could not believe the ridiculous statement that came out of her mouth. Because can we all not rewind to episode 1 when she was the one that kept interrupting everyone on the first day to talk to Joey, when there was over 20 women that were trying to even have a couple of minutes of a conversation, and she kept going back. She got the first kiss, then she kept going back and trying to talk to him more, and now she has the audacity the audacity to go and call Maria disrespectful. I said, girl, you calling the black kettle black.
It's so disrespectful because she already has a rose going into tonight. She knows half of us sitting there haven't even had the chance to talk to him.
What? What? Let me know in a comment below if you were just as upset as I was, because I literally could not believe that this woman was this upset about Maria interrupting when she was the number one culprit of it. The number one culprit. I was laughing and I was also upset because I couldn't believe it. And then she decides to get into this tuffle with her. And, before she got there, though, she was kind of saying that it was disrespectful, and other people were like, yeah, but she was being really nice about it. And, everybody was not everybody, but certain people were kind of standing up for Maria and being like, well, it's not really like that. But when Maria comes down and freaking Jess decides to be like, oh, well, that was a nice little thing you did there. You already have a rose and you decide to go and talk to him again.
Pretty early combo for someone with a rose.
Yep. But Jess, can I ask you, is there a problem that I spoke to Joey right now?
I just think it's a little disrespectful.
In what way, Jess?
And I was like, here we go.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Here we go. Why? Her insecurities just it's up here. No security in her relationship with Joey. Because if she was secure in her relationship with Joey, she wouldn't be projecting like this. She would have just been like, oh, it's fine. Me and Joey have a great connection. But why? Because she knows that her relationship with Joey isn't as strong as other people's. And because she hadn't talked to him that night, she knew that her connection wasn't as good, and the fact that Maria was taking her time started to, boil in her. She started getting in her head. She started thinking all these horrible things and just starts going at Maria. And Maria is someone who at this point, she is not holding back. She's just like, can you explain to me why are you being mad? What did I do wrong? I went to go talk to him. What did I do wrong? And Maria's not holding back. And granted, she could have held back, but she was still calmer than what most people would have been if this was them in the situation. But of course, Jess has to just go off, call her a bitch, all this ridiculous stuff. And freaking Lea goes after her, and she's like, oh, it's okay. You can't let her get in your head. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, can these two girls go? Can they both go? Can they go? But unfortunately, they don't go home, and it's so annoying because we have to deal with them for probably like another maybe two. I hope it's one, but maybe maximum 2 episodes, because at the end of the day, these girls are here for the drama, and that is it. That is the only reason why they're kept here. I already know Joey they're not even close to being Joey's top, so they're just kept there because producers are like, hey, you should keep them. And he's like, okay, I guess I should, whatever. But it's just so ridiculous. Like the stupidest drama, because I feel like Maria is now hated. Is hated by association. Is that what I'm trying to say? What I'm trying to say is like, basically Lea and Jess have now taken the role of Sydney because they feel like they should. They're like, oh well, our woman figure, she's left, and we have to take her place. We have to be the one to tell Joey how we feel and how Maria's being a horrible person. And I'm just like, but why? Like literally, but why? But why? A moment of silence. A moment of silence for the stupidity, please. But anyway, let's move on from the drama, and now let's talk about some wholesome moments. Let's talk about our one-on-ones this episode. So Kelsey and Rachel both had a one-on-one, and Kelsey's one-on-one was great. I do really like her with Joey. I think they would make beautiful children together. They both have like this like curly hair, like both like really light like eyes. Like they would just make beautiful children. I'm not gonna lie. She's very calm and smiley and just very sweet. And I liked their date. I liked them together, and it was one of those other moments where I was like, oh my God, I see something. And then he goes and dates somebody else and goes on another one-on-one. And I'm like, oh, they're great. They might make it. And then the end of the episode, and I'm like, who the fuck does Joey like? Who can someone tell me? Can someone tell me who Joey likes? Can someone? Because I don't know. I literally don't know who his top picks are. But we'll talk about that. But continuing with Kelsey, so they have the dinner portion of their date. And this is when I've been starting to have like some, not aches, but some how do I say this? Some moments where I don't like that I feel like every single woman who has sat down with Joey has had some really sad, depressing story. Literally since the first one-on-one with Daisy, it's just been like, I was very sick and now I have this. I was very sick and now I have this. I've overcome something. My mom died. And it's not, we're not saying that this is bad things. Like these are all, no, they're not. They're obviously they're bad things, but I mean, I'm not saying that we're undermining that, or that that's not important, or that it's not important for us to know these stories. Yes, but why are we just talking about it every time? Like, why can't we just have some people in this house or some women who go on this show who literally are just women who have lived life? Like, it's like, yeah, I went through just a couple of really bad breakups, but I have a great life. Like, why does it have to be that like every freaking girl has this like story of like, oh my God, I went through all these things? And then another thing, and who was it that was talking about it? I was listening to his podcast. Nick Viall was talking about this, and I have to agree with him. It feels like every girl sits down and they feel like they need to be vulnerable with Joey, and they're like, okay, this is my time to give my monologue. So they sit down, they give their life story, and then it's pretty much like they're like trauma dumping in a way, like telling Joey like all this trauma, and Joey kind of just has to like take it in and be like, wow, like you are a very strong woman. And like, yeah, these are all great things, but at the same time, I'm like why can't we just have some people that have just had a regular life? Like some women on this show, just like they've had regular lives, and there's nothing like crazy that's happened. Like they're just wonderful women who haven't met the right guy. Like, why does it have to be like all this sadness? And yes, did I cry when Kelsey was talking about her story? Absolutely. At first I couldn't remember if she was the one whose mother had passed away. So when she started talking about her mom, I was like, oh, she's gonna talk about how her mom passed away. And it was very sad to hear, and I definitely shed a tear. It was very, very sad. And I'm, I hope she goes very far, or maybe even wins this thing, right? But I just would like to see something a little bit different, which I will say I think we got with Rachel. Moving on to Rachel's one-on-one, which at first I was really nervous about Rachel because I really like Rachel, but I didn't know if Joey felt the same way, because I haven't felt that like, oh man, like I really want to like be with you kind of vibe. Like, yeah, they're cute together, but I don't know. It's not that they're missing chemistry. I just feel like the pull, that gravity thing where it's like you could just tell that they like want to be near each other. I feel like I haven't felt that with them, even though they're really cute together. And I love that they were like really flirting and like, you know, going back and forth and throwing jokes at them. Like I really liked them this episode because, like I was saying, originally I was a little bit scared that I wasn't feeling that, but this episode really gave me that. And I think the fact that they did the flamenco dancing was so cute. Let's never have to see Joey again with shorts and black ankle boots, though. Let's never rewind that and never see that again, please. But other than that, I thought their date was so cute, and I think it did bring them together much more. And I think Joey got to know that kind of fun, giddy side of her, and it was very, very cute. And when they had their dinner portion, it was nice because Rachel didn't have anything like really sad to say, and I was like, oh, thank God, a breath of fresh air, I'm not crying. Like, you know, she just talked about how she was a nurse and how difficult that is, and how she needs the person she marries to understand that she has a really grueling like life, and someone she can talk to about her day and what she's seen, because she works in an ICU. Like, the things she has seen, the people, the shit this woman has seen. So I liked that it was very playful. They were very playful with each other, and it was really sweet. And I was like, oh, man, I love them. They're so cute. I think oh, fuck. She's really good with him, too. And you really start to wonder, like, okay, well, who does he like? Who is he going to end up with? Here we go again, the same question. Who is he going to end up with? But all in all, I did really like these two one-on-ones. I think, though, Kelsey is going to go farther than Rachel. I think Rachel will I feel like Rachel's going to be the one that gets cut before hometowns. I don't know why, but I have a feeling Rachel's going to be the one that does that, just about makes it to hometowns and then gets cut. I just have a feeling. Well, okay, let's move on to really quickly the group dates, because again, what I said in the beginning, I feel like these group dates have been just completely, I mean, now we're getting to the point, specifically now, where I feel like these group dates are just kind of like, all right, we just need to have group dates because there's just so many women. But in the first group date, what did they do in the first group date? Was it the, hold on. Yeah, okay, it was just one date. I was confusing the Malta group date. But this group date was basically like a painting one where all the girls went and they had to like paint. They had to write a sentence of like their relationship with Joey in one sentence and then draw it. And then Joey had to guess based on the drawing what the sentence was. Again, just kind of like, yay, Jess ends up winning. It was an okay, like it was an okay date, nothing fun. Again, the reason why I was like this was pointless was because whoever keeps getting the one-on-one extra time, they never ever really show what they talked about, if they got to know each other more. Like the only thing they do in this like extra time is make out with each other, and I'm like, okay, well, this isn't really servicing us as an audience to be like, oh wait, there's a connection here, or to like someone more or dislike someone more. It's kind of like, oh yay, they won, and then all you see is them like playing around. Jess wins and they're both in bikinis, they look hot, it's great, and then they go and roll around and paint together. I felt like I was watching Too Hot to Handle, and I'm like, this is silly and pointless. Like, I didn't even need to see this. Who cares? Let's keep going. Because then at that point, the moment they didn't even show Jess having some serious conversation with him, I'm like, Jess isn't going anywhere. All Jess is on the show for is to drive the drama and continue the drama because she's a personality. She is not making it very far. So to me, I was like, well, this was a stupid date. And then all it showed was more of just people hating on Maria and like, oh God, I can't believe Maria's here. I have to be on this group date with her. I'm like, guys, she's occupying your mind way too much, and it's actually silly and ridiculous. But then we go basically to the end of this episode, which was about who went home. Unfortunately, we did lose Medina and Autumn. I was expecting that. Both of these women, I mean, Medina definitely had much more screen time than Autumn did. I'm actually even surprised Autumn made it this far, to be completely honest. She was the date that I was confusing with this one, which was actually last episode, which is when she was doing the thing with the sausages swinging and she caught it and she was like, I don't know if I stick out. And then they just showed her like making out with Joey in her extra time. I'm like, okay, she's clearly not making it far because they're not even letting us show anything about their relationship like progressing. So I knew she was going to be gone soon, and which was sad because like she looked like she was very sweet, and it was sad when she said that she went home, but she's, you know, she was like, well, you know, at least I tried. And then Medina's exit was actually pretty sad because Medina was like, I don't think he got to know me because of all the drama. And I'm like, that's not wrong. It's very true. It's the number one reason why he didn't get to know you is because of that. And he actually didn't get to is not going to get to know Maria either that well, which granted, I'm going to get into that, but because of the drama. And why was this drama created? Because of one person named Sydney, who's no longer here, but yet the drama has continued for like 3 episodes. So silly. But I felt bad for her because, yeah, like she was right. I think she didn't have a chance to really get to know him, and he didn't get to know her because the whole time they were talking about drama. And I mean, at the end of the day, like I knew she was going to make it regardless of that. They didn't really have that kind of spark or that chemistry anyway. But it was sad, especially because they let those 2 girls and left fucking Lea and Jess. For what freaking purpose? Just for more drama. And it's good TV. Producers know what they're doing. It's for good TV. And at the end of the day, Joey also probably doesn't care. He's probably like, you could let all 4 of these girls go and it doesn't matter. But they were like, okay, out of these 4, who would you rather keep? Or like, hey, do you mind if we keep these 4 girls because we need to keep the drama going? And like, just at this point, I don't think any of those women are going. So I don't think Joey cared who stayed and who left. But yeah. Anyway, okay, I want to talk about, before I end this recap, what I really want to talk about is the scenes from the next couple of episodes that they showed. Because, guys, and I said it before in this episode, I really have no idea who the hell Joey picks. Like, I have no idea who Joey picks. I don't know what this ending is, where he's just like, wow, I don't think that's ever happened before. I really don't know if, like, is he single? Does this person like not accept his rose? Or does somebody come and they're the second runner up and they're like, hey, you know what? I don't think I'm ready for this. Like, I do not know. I can't believe, I would find it shocking if he ends up single. Like, I really have no idea. But they keep showing this finale and the scene of him at the altar, like crying and saying that this has never happened before. Supposedly, that people are saying that it is true. A lot of talking in the grapevine out there that it is true, that this ending is something we have never seen. And that is hard because they say that every season. And somehow they've been able to really do really well with that. But, what else? Yeah, they showed in this trailer, they showed Daisy a lot. I think Daisy gets another one-on-one. I think we see Jen get another one-on-one. We do see Maria there as well. I think she gets a one-on-one. I do see her. There's like the scene where she's like in a helicopter with Joey, like dressed really nicely. So I think she gets a one-on-one as well. But then, talking about Maria, we see this one scene where she says she doesn't know if she can do this anymore. And I have a feeling that Maria's going to send herself home at some point. In the next couple of episodes. I think she's going to leave. Because she's just not going to feel comfortable enough, or she's not going to feel it enough. I think she will be sending herself home. And I also think, I don't know if it's Maria who he's talking about, but they had that one scene where they show him saying, like, imagine, like, someone telling you that they're not sure if they could see you at the end of this, or at the end of at the aisle or whatever, something like that. And I'm like, damn, like, who is he talking about? And then there's also that scene where they showed like a letter and it says like, we need to talk. I'm like, oh my God, like, who is leaving? Someone's clearly leaving. I think it's going to be Maria. I think it's going to be Maria, but I'm not sure. Who knows? We could be thrown for a loop here, but I did see Daisy definitely has a one-on-one again. And like I said, I think I see Jen and I see Kelsey. I see Kelsey T having a one-on-one. Who a lot of people are still saying Kelsey T is still a sleeper, so we shall see. But yeah, these upcoming episodes look like they're going to be really good. A lot of girls are starting to really, really crack under the pressure. I really think that the next episode we're probably going to lose Caitlyn. I think we're going to lose Jess and Lea for sure. Because right now, to me, the top people are Jen, Lexi, Daisy, Kelsey T, and who I'm missing one. Kelsey T and Rachel. See, that's 5. That's 5. And I'm pretty sure is it 3 or 4 that go to hometowns? I'm forgetting if it's 3 or 4 that go to hometowns. Shit, I can't remember. But that's 5 girls. wow, I think I'm right. I don't think I'm forgetting anybody else. I think it's going to be those 5 are going to be, those are like the top 5. Then from there, when it starts to dwindle, I literally have no idea who I don't know. It hasn't cemented enough in me. But I do think Maria's sending herself home. I think Maria's sending herself home, and I do think that Joey's going to be sending Jess home at some point, because you do hear her say, like, did I do something wrong? Like, why don't you want to be with me or something like that? I'm like, oh, he's not picking her, or he's going to send her home, or something. I don't know. It just felt like she's going to be sent home. But anyway, guys, that is my quick recap today. Oh my god, a short one. Usually I'm talking for like 45 minutes, but I just felt like this was like a better way of kind of getting through the episode, because I most of it just had to just be kind of condensed into those like little moments, right? But anyway, guys, if you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you are interested in seeing more videos like this, please click that subscribe button. Of course, if I brought you any value, this is the place to be. And if you're interested, I will be covering as well Love is Blind here on the channel, so please wait out for those episodes because they will be out soon. Oh my god, I have so much to cover. And of course, if you haven't watched my Bridgerton videos, I've also just posted some of those. I'm a big Bridgerton fan, so if you haven't seen that, please click that subscribe button. And guys, thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!